Hey everybody, this is Halstead and Andrew McMillan with REH CPA. Today we want to talk about the sunset of the TCGA, which is the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. Right now that's scheduled to sunset at the end of 2025. I don't know how much you guys remember when that was passed. That was under the Trump administration. What that did was that really lowered some tax rates, gave some business incentives, things like that. And it really lowered everybody's tax bill. Well, right now we're looking at what they're calling Tax-mageddon. I think that's the term they're using, right? And that's scheduled to, all that stuff is scheduled to sunset at the end of 2025, which is going to result in some potential increases in taxes. I've got Andrew McMillan here with me today. Andrew, what can you tell us about this sunsetting?
Well, taxes are very political. So a lot of what, I guess the biggest takeaway almost from this video is going to be just know that there's probably going to be some changes in the tax landscape over the next year and a half, because with an election year, not only does it matter what happens with the presidential election, but also what happens in Congress, because it's hard to get anything passed in Congress without a majority in one side. So keep an eye on taxes over the next year plus, because there's definitely going to be some changes that are going to happen by the way the current tax law is written, and also maybe some changes based on whatever administration wins. So the current tax law, like you said, is set to, a lot of the provisions are going to sunset at the end of 2025. So automatically changes are going to be made. But, depending on the administration that gets in, they could make this more, they could make this, put this law forever or for another 4 years or 8 years.
What are probably the biggest items that we're looking at?
So for businesses, one of the biggest items would be the qualified business income deduction, the QBI deduction. We've done some videos on it, but it was a really great deduction when it came out. It was a 20% deduction off of your business profit for small business owners. So basically you only had to pay taxes on 80% of your profit. Almost all of our small business owners, were kind of probably taking advantage of that in some form or fashion. So that would be a big one. If you're a C corporation, corporates, we don't do a whole lot of those. You don't see a whole lot of those in our world where we operate. But he did lower the tax rate. The tax rates were lowered on C corporations, and I think there's plans to even make that even lower if a new administration comes in. And then bonus depreciation is another big one for businesses. Bonus depreciation, the ability to write things off quickly was increased. Now it's phasing out some over time. So it's just something to keep an eye on for small business owners.
Gotcha.
For individuals, there's a lot of changes to individual taxation. Some of the highlights would really be just reduced tax brackets. Tax brackets were reduced for individuals. The standard deduction was nearly doubled for individuals.
Right.
So really what that meant was a lot of people take the standard deduction rather than itemizing their tax returns this year, or as they have in the past now. So if that goes away, you may be itemizing now going forward. And we also removed the dependency exemption. So if you had a child or a kid, you no longer got a dependency exemption. It was really kind of revamped there. So there were a lot of changes done on the individual side as well. Those are a few of the highlights, but it's definitely something that's going to have to be addressed by whatever administration is in office going into next year. They're going to have to face this and make some decisions.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you. If you have any questions on the sunsetting, there is some tax planning that can be done surrounding that, but the only issue is, we don't know. It's kind of like looking at a crystal ball. We have people that are planning for it, but you have to be careful because it could actually get better. Who knows? But anyways, if you have any questions about those sunsetting tax laws, feel free to give us a call and we'll help you out. Thanks.